Good morrow to you, and welcome to the Baron's Newsdesk, covering the latest happenings and goings-on in the world of tabletop card gaming. The following information comes from various sources around the interwebs, including MagicSpoiler.com. Rejoice, commoners, because the Commander season is upon us, and with the coming of Gen Con 2019, we are finally starting to see some preview cards and spoilers for the Commander 2019 release. The artwork depicted here is of Gerard Capuchin, first introduced in the Apocalypse set. He was an integral part of that block storyline, and therefore it is highly likely that we are going to be seeing a new, updated version of Gerard in this set. Now, before we continue looking at the cards that have been teased and spoiled thus far, I do believe it is important to review this article that is posted on the official Magic the Gathering website. It is here that you will find a list of publications and destinations of where you can view upcoming spoilers for the Commander 19 set in the coming week. However, I do have concern with the sheer number of channels and platforms of which these cards will be available to. First of all, I don't see Arista cards on this list. Seems to be a rather gross oversight in my book. And while I certainly appreciate granting the spotlight to other content creators around the interwebs, there simply seems to be too many of them to consider any of these reveals exclusives. The likely occurrence of this situation is that players will possibly go to the first one or two links in the list and ignore the rest. It seems to me that it is a situation of nice try, but no cigar. And now on with a list of cards that have been revealed as of Saturday, August the 3rd, 2019. The first is Kadena, Slinking Sorcerer. For 1 black, green, and a blue, it's a 3/3 legendary creature Naga Wizard. The first face-down creature spell you cast each turn costs 3 generic less to play. Whenever a face-down creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This makes Kadena uniquely suited for the Morph and Megamorph mechanic, in which you can pay a cost to cast the card face down. That leads us to our next card, Kadena's Silencer. For 1 and a blue, it is a 2/1 Naga Wizard creature. It has Megamorph of 1 and a blue. When Kadena's Silencer is turned face up, counter all abilities your opponents control. I especially like Kadena because she also caters to the Manifest mechanic. I would say that this has me even more excited about using Kadena over the Morph mechanic, as there was already a few commanders such as Animal that were able to make use of the Morph mechanic. The next commander is Anje Falkenwrath. For 1 black and a red, it is a 1/3 legendary creature vampire. She has haste. Tap to discard a card, then draw a card. Whenever you discard a card, if it has madness, untap Anje Falkenwrath. This leads us to our next card, Anje's Ravager. For 2 and a red, it is a 3/3 vampire berserker creature. Anje's Ravager attacks each combat if able. And whenever Anje's Ravager attacks, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. And has madness of 1 and a red. Ah yes, madness. Another mechanic that has been vastly underrepresented in the Commander format to this date. This is probably one of the first commanders that I'm going to brew based on this announcement. The Rakdos colors have not been the most powerful in the Commander format since its inception, but I am hoping that Anje Falkenwrath will help to elevate them to a tier 1 type deck. Next on the list is Gired Conclave Exile. For 2 red, green, and a white, it is a 2/5 human shaman creature. When Gired Conclave Exile enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 green rhino creature token with trample. Whenever Gired attacks, populate. The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. This is an excellent segue into Gired's Belligerence. For red, and X, it is a sorcery. Gired's Belligerence deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Whenever a creature dealt damage this way dies this turn, populate. For my personage, this is likely the least exciting commander for me in the set of announcements. Token and counter decks have simply never been my cup of tea, but if you do enjoy those counter decks and you are looking forward to a commander that can populate many tokens, well, then this one is for you. And our final commander reveal today is Savine the Chronoclasm. For 2, a blue, red, and white, he's a 2/2 legendary creature human wizard. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Savine the Chronoclasm. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard each turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for that copy. Let's take a gander at his signature spell, which is Savine's Reclamation. For 2 and a white, it is a sorcery. Return target permanent card with converted mana cost of 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, you may copy this spell and may choose a new target for the copy. It has Flashback of 4 and white. Flashback is likely the mechanic that least needed a boon in the Commander format. Cards with Flashback were already useful, as you wanted to use cards that could have additional value. And we needed another reason for Snapcaster Mage to go up in price as much as we needed another hole in the head. However, I will admit there are a good number of Flashback cards that currently were not seeing play that likely will now be viable. And it appears we have a late addition. This was announced as I was recording this video. Kirik, son of Yawgmoth. For 4 and 3 Phyrexian mana, meaning you can pay a black or 2 life, it is a 2/2 horror minion. He has lifelink. For each black in a cost, you may pay 2 life rather than pay that mana. Whenever you cast a black spell, you may put a +1/+1 counter on Kirik, son of Yawgmoth. I have a sneaking suspicion that this legendary creature is going to ruffle a few feathers within the Magic the Gathering community at large. Phyrexian mana has long been viewed as something rather broken within the format, as in it breaks the color pie and allows you to play cards of certain colors outside of its designated color. As an example of Kirik's power, you could pay only 4 mana to cast him, of course paying 6 life, and then pay another 6 life to cast Necropotence on the same turn. That means you could cast both of those cards for 4 generic mana and paying 12 life in 1 turn. This is an incredible advantage in Commander, certainly and especially for those in the competitive format, or if you are playing Commander 1 versus 1. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing much more of Kirik in the future. Unspoiled for the set. Leadership Vacuum. For 2 and a blue, it is an instant. Target player returns each commander they control from the battlefield to the command zone. Then draw a card. Now you'll notice it says each commander because there are commanders that have the partner mechanic and therefore you can have more than one commander. What I dislike about this card is that it is almost now as ubiquitous as some of the other cards in the format, such as Expropriate and Teferi's Protection. If you're running blue, there's almost no reason that you would not want to include this into your answers category of your deck. This is another card I'm sure we're going to see much more of in our format in the future. Next we have Sanctum of Eternity, a land. Tap to add 1 generic mana. Pay 2 generic mana and tap it. Return target commander you own from the battlefield to your hand. Activate this ability only during your turn. This is going to play especially well with commanders that have enter the battlefield effects or on-cast effects, such as Maelstrom Wanderer, which grants that oh so lovely double cascade. If you're running only 1 or 2 color decks, it is likely that Sanctum of Eternity will easily find a slot in your current deck lists. Finally, I would like to know your thoughts, commoners. Which of these legendary creatures, spoiled thus far, has you the most interested? Which of these mechanics that are they bringing to the forefront in Commander brings you the most joy? I know that I personally am thinking of all of the delicious brews, spirits, and wines that I will be able to enjoy while doing some theory crafting and developing some new and exciting decks. Be sure to like and subscribe and view many of my entertaining and informative videos here on Aristocards. Until next time, cheers!